probably help if I did a microphone check. Echo. Ah, Jesus. Oh well. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Echo, echo, echo. Okay, well, we'll just have to put up with it. Before everybody gets here. Okay, we got a clean ashtray. And I guess nobody got the message I was going to be here. It might be a short show. Uh-oh. I knew I should have sent a broadcast email out. Oh well. Nobody shows up, it'll be a real short show. You know, it really sucks that I would have to pay for this Prism Plus because at this point in time, I do not know if anybody is following on Facebook. Because before, I could broadcast on 2 platforms. Not anymore. And believe me, I haven't even inquired as to how much plus would be because I'm not paying. That's the problem with these free streaming software places. They give you a shitload of stuff up front, free, so that you'll use their software. Then you start using their software and you get comfortable with it. And what do? They cut the benefits and they want to charge you for the free shit you had before. Now, before Prism went to this Plus, I could broadcast on 3, 4, 5, 6 platforms at once. Well, of course, I would have to join Instant Graham Cracker and TalkTick and Snapchat. But I was able to broadcast on YouTube and Faceplant. So I have no idea if anybody is following me on Facebook. No idea whatsoever. I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm not broadcasting on Facebook anymore. Oh, Jesus. Ron's here. I know I notified Linda. I can't remember if I emailed Kathy. Evidently not, because she's not here. It's a little too late now to email Kathy. Unless if you have her email, Ron, send her an email. Tell her I'm on the air. Didn't I like this? Because I'm going to crank off a gripe that I tend to think people might agree with, and I know she would want to be here to hear me pitch a bitch. God, I can't believe the color on this old pile commercial monitor. Unbelievable. I have two old monitors. Both these monitors are over 10 years old. And the color is better on these old bastard machines than the new ones I had. Now I know a lot has to do with the camera. I just really enjoy looking at the nice color. Not to mention, you ain't gonna believe what I found buried on the back shelf of over the workbench. See, this house was purchased brand new right after the war by my buddy's parents. They did very little to the house, I'll tell you what, as far as modernization. And his father passed away, and then several years later, he had to put his mother in a nursing home. He never really did much either. And then his niece moved in. And then she moved out. And as far as the workbench and everything on the shelves in the basement, nobody really touched anything. Oh. Well, if they're going to stay there, then this is going to be a real short show tonight. Although Linda sent me a very interesting item on Todd, mainly that Chris Ryder has an emergency protective order. You know, Chris Ryder deserves to be in prison. He gets on the internet and pours gasoline on every fire he can, threatens people, and then when somebody gives him the shit back, I'm suing you. I'm getting emergency protective orders. You know, it would be different if they lived in the same city. Todd don't even live in the same state. And Chris, Todd threatened my girlfriend. He threatened her kids. And then the protective order says he has to give up any weapons he has. That's a bunch of bullshit. Like Todd is going to jump in his car and drive 2 or 3 states over. I would like to see the judge tomorrow go, I thought maybe he lived in your neighborhood. Filing a false emergency protective order. 6 months. For you. Chris can dish it out, but boy, he can't take it. I'm not a big fan of Todd, but this whole thing is bullshit. And then, Chris, my family. They're not his kids. Matter of fact, they're not even his wife's kids or his girlfriend. They're not married. And from what I hear, people in Chris's family are siding with Todd. There is one easy way to eliminate all the problems, Chris. Don't turn on a computer, don't turn on a phone, stay off of social media, and all your problems will go away. God, he's suing everybody. He's filing cases against everybody. But this one against Todd is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe, I was going to say I can't believe a lawyer would take any of Chris's cases, but if he's willing to pay out money to hire an attorney, so be it. Good money after bad. Chris writes the check, hands it to the attorney. The attorney deposits it in his bank, and goes, "Ha ha 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 ha! Ha. You fool!" I really can't see this protective order going through tomorrow. I really can't. How can his cases have merit? This one against Todd is pure utter bullshit. You know, he fires the flaming arrow, and when someone fires a flaming arrow back, he's suing them. He's Chris causes his own problems. All he has to do is stay off of social media, plain and simple. Delete his channel, go away, and all of his problems will go away. But no, he's like a teenage girl clique in high school. He thrives on the drama. Well, it don't look like Lynn and Kathy are going to show up. That's what happens. You don't do a show for 4 or 5 days, and everybody's like, well, screw you. We're going somewhere else now. Well, since it's going to be a short show, let's do a start. No, we don't want that. Jesus, the tablet picking its own music again. Broadcasting live from station WDWL TV, corporate offices located on Grumpy Vulture Boulevard, and my studios on Grumpy Old Man Road. And I am the Grumpy Old Man. And the Grumpy Jackalope. Oh, all right. The Grumpy Vulture, take your bow. No more spotlight. That's it. You're done. I wanted to put some of my automotive chemicals on the one shelf on the workbench, so I was moving stuff. And to tell you how old some of this shit is on these shelves, I found a Black & Decker 9-volt lawn clipper. One of them rechargeable 9 volt. 9 volt is from like back in the 60s. Then, unbelievable. I find this Burn-A-Shine Glide Right powdered dance floor wax. We don't have a dance floor in this house. I'm starting to wonder, because this house does have really nice hardwood, well, used to have nice hardwood floors. I wonder if they use this shit. Can you imagine how slick these floors would have been using dance floor wax? Going to get out of bed? Oh, I broke a hip. Dance floor wax. I can almost imagine what else is on that shelf. I was like, well, I made enough room to put my blaster and my contact cleaner and all my automotive sprays. I am not a happy camper. All this work on that goddamn car and the fuel pump quit. We don't, we don't even know how the engine's going to run, because now we have no gas. He tested the relay. The relay's working. The fuel gauge is working. So the pump is getting electricity. But the pump don't want to work no more. So now all this bullshit we did was for naught. Because now we need a fuel pump. And he doesn't have any used ones hidden away in his secret storage. The only good thing is you can access it through the trunk. You don't have to drop the gas tank. Now I realize we already know that no matter what we do, it's not going to pass the E-check. We already know that. So I can't drive it till January. I would like to take it around the block. Just to sit, I got to familiarize myself with the clutch, the way the transmission shifts. No. So I have to start searching eBay for a fuel pump, because he told me at the dealership it's about $300. I'm not spending that kind of money. No way. I used to watch a lot of late night TV. Carson, oh, I was loyal to Carson from when I was allowed to stay up late and watch him. And then Carson retired, and then came Leno. I wasn't a big fan, but this guy, Jimmy Fallon, I can't stand him. Cannot stand him. So, I've been watching at least 3 times a week Jimmy Kimmel. I love Jimmy Kimmel. Well, Jimmy Kimmel made kind of a negative comment regarding all the hoopla over Charlie Kirk. Now, Trump is treating him like he is some national hero. So, he gets wind of what Kimmel said. So he calls the FCC, who the chairman of the FCC is one of his buddies, and he goes, I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. So the head of the FCC calls Disney, who owns ABC. Now, there is a huge deal that needs the FCC approval because it's almost going to create a conglomerate. So, the FCC tells Disney, we don't like Kimmel. And they pulled his show. What has happened to freedom of speech in America? Anybody that says anything negative about Mr. Big Hair, they get shut down. Mr. Big Hair is suing the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch because he don't like what they say. He has also threatened any local affiliate that says anything negative about him, he'll have the FCC pull their broadcast license. Comedians have been taking pot shots at the president since Steve Allen. Steve Allen retires from The Tonight Show. Carson takes over. Carson took pot shots at every president. Then Carson retires, and Leno comes in and took pot shots at any president. David Letterman took pot shots at every president. Conan O'Brien took pot shots at every president. Craig Ferguson took pot shots at every president. And did they get their program pulled? Did they get fired? No. Free speech in America is gone. And it'll be gone for the next 3 years. Because if you happen to say something negative, you're shut down. They pulled Kimmel like that. Fired him. Then they said, well, if you want to come back to work, you will issue a heartfelt apology to the Kirk family, and you will make a substantial donation to his organization. So far, Kimmel is silent. So in order to come back to work, Kimmel has to kiss Mr. Big Hair's ass and spend $25, $50, $100,000 to get his job back. Mr. Big Hair even convinced the network not to renew Stephen Colbert's program. He succeeded Letterman. That studio, after I think May, will go dark. Now they're saying, oh, we're losing a ton of money. No, they're not. It's just an excuse. Because they want to do away with all the late night comedians. Now Fallon, oh, he's staying neutral, man. Fallon don't want to see the Tonight Show get pulled, so he hasn't said shit. But he's bowing to Mr. Big Hair. Absolutely no free speech. And then Mr. Big Hair I can't remember exactly what the comment was, but he threatened the Washington Commanders with some sort of negativity if they don't change their name back to Redskins. Well, Mr. Big Hair, threaten the Guardians so I can have my Indians back. Anybody that says anything negative like I say, he's suing the Wall Street Journal. He's suing Rupert Murdoch. And he has basically come out and said any newspaper that says anything negative about him, he'll try to get them shut down. This is what America's come to? Come on, I filled this thing up the other day. Damn crummy lighter. Gotta dig out another Zippo. Well, it looks like they're staying with Hill Street Pirates. I guess that's my punishment for not dropping everything and doing a show at night. Well, I have a car to get running. I can't be working outside ass deep in snow. And we're running out of good weather. Matter of fact, it's going to rain for the next couple of days, so I'm screwed working on it anyway. Without Kathy and Linda here, it's like talking to myself. It's interesting, it's showing 4 people, well, 4, Ron and 3 others are listening, I guess, but nobody's commenting. It's showing 4 people logged into YouTube. 3 must be listening. You know, it wasn't like I didn't tell everybody, you know. I know I emailed Linda. I can't remember if I don't think I emailed Kathy. But evidently, Hill Street Live over there has got better content than me. I should shut down and go over there. Man, I got my gripe over with already. Yeah, they've replaced Jimmy Kimmel with Celebrity Family Feud. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And I don't think Kimmel's gonna bow down. I really don't. And what he said wasn't that bad. But oh, heaven forbid you say something negative about the whoop-de-doo that they're. They're treating Charlie Kirk like he was like a Supreme Court justice, or I don't even think a congressman or a senator would have got the treatment. Old Vance took Air Force Two out to fly him and his family back to home. Costs $260,000 an hour to run them planes. Our taxpayer money. I better stop. I'll get shut down next. There'll be a lawsuit in the mail. They can have my non-running Passat. Can't even test to see if the repairs are working. I hit the key, it cranked over a couple of times, and nothing. And luckily he had a fuel pump relay, he swapped it out. He said, well, we're getting power back there. He was beating on the pump, nothing. Story of my life. Man, I must have vacuumed 20 pounds of dog hair out of that goddamn car. He must have taken his dog everywhere with him. That back seat must have had dog hair that thick. And I don't know what material the goddamn seats are made out of. Oh man, I was overworking my brand new shop vac. I finally had to take the attachment off and just use the hose. It just kept going over and over and over and over. I don't know what kind of dog he had, but man, that sucker shed. Jesus. You could have made a quilt out of the goddamn dog hair that I vacuumed out of that car. Then I opened the glove box and there must have been 5,000 McDonald's napkins in the glove box. I was like, Jesus. Then I gave it a quick bath because that car was filthy. And I noticed, I go like, gee, I got an oddball rim. I look in the trunk. You got a flat tire, you think he'd fix it? Nope. Put the spare on. So I have to drop that tire off at the repair shop because it's a Michelin, which I really don't care for Michelins that much, but I don't want one oddball tire on the car. Although you have to know Jim. This is the way he was. Same thing with the Porsche in the backyard. Something went wrong with it, park it, buy something else. I'm supposed to meet his son over at the other house next weekend. He's got a Dodge Dakota pickup in the backyard. I want to check it out. Of course, if it's an automatic, forget it. As I asked his son, I said, you know anything about the Dakota pickup? And he went, yeah, Dad was doing a remodeling project at the other house. He needed a pickup. When he got done with the remodeling project, he pulled it in the backyard and just left it. I was like, it must be nice to have money. You need a pickup truck. You go out and buy one. You get done hauling your home remodeling stuff, and then you just screw it. I don't need it no more. And he never drove it after that. He used the truck for about a month, and then parked it in the back. And out of all the Dodge Dakota pickups I ever saw, I never saw a stick. Now, I'm sure they made them. And Jim was the type, he was like me. He liked driving manual transmissions, so if the thing isn't too nasty, I might consider it. Although I got to get that RAV4 stripped down. Got to get all my scanners out of it. Got to get my ham radio out of it. I got to get my CB out of it. I got to get the roof lights off it. And then it pissed me off. I can't put my Vector on the damn roof of the Passat because it don't mount that way. I really don't want to retire my Vector. I've had it too long. Although if the Dakota runs and it's a manual, the Dakota could get a Vector. I just can't believe that. You buy a truck, you haul your construction materials for your house, and then you just park it and forget it. He never drove it after he finished remodeling. I think his son said he remodeled the kitchen. After he got done hauling cabinets and countertops and everything he needed to remodel the kitchen, he just pulled it on the grass and never drove it again. Unbelievable. Although you say you had to know Jim, he was quirky. The problem is where it's parked on the backyard in the grass. I can only see like the front fender and the door. So I don't know what kind of condition it's in. You would think that if he didn't want it anymore, he would have sold it. It's almost like back in the day when we'd be driving out in the country and you would see vehicles in cornfields. Farmers back in the day didn't sell anything. When the vehicle got tired, pull it out in the cornfield and leave it. Man, there were some nice vehicles out in cornfields back in the day. I remember the farmer that lived down the road from my uncle. There was a Chrysler God, I can't remember the model, but it was a Woody. It was a two-door and it had wood trim on it. Like a town and country coupe. It was a beautiful looking car. I don't know what went wrong with it, or if the farmer got tired of it and just bought himself something else, but I remember we'd be driving past that farm and I'd like, oh man, look at that car. Next thing you know, it had weeds up higher than the car growing around it. The earth kind of swallowed it up. And my uncle was, he had two GMC pickup trucks out in his cornfield. They would get so many miles on them and he'd go, oh, too many miles. Time to park it, buy a new one. Different times, man, different times. God, there was one farm, there must have been 10 vehicles out in his pasture. Matter of fact, I think he was using them for fencing. Either that or property markers. Wait till the field is nice and dry and okay, that's it. Because I can remember, matter of fact, me and two little twins from the farm down. You know. We went over there one day. He wasn't home. And we looked in every one of them vehicles and the keys were in the ignition. Just pull it back there and leave them. But that Chrysler Town and Country, oh man. Had twin spotlights on it. Car was laid out, just rotting away in a cornfield. Sad. Of course, they're all gone now. They all went to scrap after the farms were sold for housing developments. My uncle's farm, same thing. My cousin sold it. They bulldozed the farmhouse, they bulldozed the barn, the outbuildings, and built a housing development. The only farm that's still there is the one on the corner. I don't know if the girls took it over to run it or... That's the only working farm in the area right now. At least it was 5 years ago when I took a ride out there. I should have stopped. Who owns this farm? The farmer come out with a shotgun. Get off my land. Okay. Well, Lisa, I still can't get over the color in these two monitors. Almost as good as my new TV. God. And to think I put these things away and quit using them. Thank God I still have them. Because I'm really disappointed that, although I gotta check that Samsung monitor out, but I'm having no problem with the HP, so evidently that monitor was having fits. I'm going to get that other little mini computer out and test it. Well, Ron, I think one more smoke. And I'm going to end it. Well, now I am talking to myself. You gotta jump ship and go over to Hill Street Blues Live. who the other three people are. It's showing 4 people logged in on YouTube. All right, now one of them is me on the other computer. So that leaves 3. Because it's just me talking to myself right now. That'll teach me not to do a show every night from now on. I wonder who the other three are. Somebody say something. Because it's showing 4 people. One of them is me. So that means there's 3 people out there backstage that don't want to get in the chat and say anything. Because Ron is gone. And Kathy and Linda are over at Hill Street Blue Pirates Hill Live. Well, we've been on for an hour talking to myself. So, we're going to call it a night. Whoever you 3 are that are out there watching, I will see everybody tomorrow.